Hey guys, well, I know that a lot of people are kind of like flying up in arms about the Never Shout Never interview that Bryan Stars just did, and I want to give my opinion on it, like everyone out there. First of all, oh my god, Bryan, I love you so much, just, dude, I'm so sorry, man, like, that just should not have happened. That's crazy. Just, you don't deserve that, okay? Okay? I love you, Bryan. And also, so I'm not able to get my words out that well if I don't write it down first, so I wrote like this 5-paragraph post on Never Shout Never's wall. Oh well. I'm not gonna read all of it to you, but I am gonna read part of it. So yeah, sorry, I'll be looking over there. Okay. Basically, I said how, in the first part I said how I'm not crying because I feel like I need to stick up for Bryan or anything. Because Bryan's a big boy, he can defend himself, you know, he's awesome. And I said that I'm not crying because, Chris ruined my image of what he is. I mean, he did, but I couldn't really give a shit about that. Okay, so what I said was, I'm crying because of what you said about how art should be art, and that's all you should be asked about. Like in the interview, he was just like, yeah, just ask me questions about the music, only the music, not about myself, like trying to take out the personal aspect of art, which just annoys me so much as an artist. Like, here. I know those aren't your exact words, but that's what I got from what you said. I'm an artist too, and I know that art should exist on its own and should be taken for what it is, not who the person is or what they are. But art cannot exist without a person. It just can't, okay? It can't in any way, shape, or form. There needs to be a real person behind the art. There needs to be someone producing it, using their life and their beliefs and their heart and just all of that and their emotions put into their art. So, and that's what Bryan was trying to get out of him. He was trying to get a person out of him. So I know he did 2 years ago, but that was 2 years ago, and you've changed since then as a person. Your music has changed too, and that's obviously important to talk about too. But the fact that you think that art can solely exist on its own, and only on its own, without a person or a group of people behind it, is so incredibly sad. No, to understand the art, you don't need to know the person behind it, but without that person behind it, the art cannot exist. It is an important factor that a lot of artists don't show, and the ones who do make their art so much more personal for their fans and give them a deeper connection to their art. Like, you know, that's why on here I post like random little videos telling you like the stupidest things about myself that don't matter at all, because it lets you connect to me a bit more and like try and understand, like when I do post original songs, trying to understand me and my life just a little bit better. So, I'm sorry, I play with my hair a lot. So like there's that. And it's just like, I don't know, Chris just seemed to try and push himself away from it. Push himself away from like getting a personal aspect out of it. He just really seemed to want like just art, no personal things behind it. And there's always something personal behind art, whether you know it or not. And you just have to dig to find it. Whether digging to find it is being silly and, you know, showing, like, saying which part of your body you like best, or like messing around with your friends and just being, or being like, I like his eyes the best. Like, that's getting fans to connect with you on a deeper level. Or, okay, it may not seem deep to you, but the fact that you can do that will just like propel you farther into music, or like, okay, not necessarily propel you farther into music, but it'll make your fans feel like they know you better, so they know your music better, so they can just connect with it more and they'll like it more. Like, that's kind of why interviews exist, not for you to just talk about your music, although it does exist for that, but it's there to get to know you as a person. So, if art is just art and there's no person behind it, then it's soulless. But that's what you seem to be doing, making your art just art and not wanting there to be any person behind it. Bryan was trying to find the person behind it, like he does with every band. I know you guys aren't every band, but having that more personal connection can help your fans feel greater towards their music. Yeah, like I was just saying, or that's what I wrote in there. He was trying to make it so that the fans got to know you, your funny, quirky side, your serious side, your musician side, your hanging with your friends side, your silly side, your art side, all of it. He's trying to do that so your fans can feel like they know you better and therefore have a deeper connection or a deeper look into your music and are able to connect with it. But you seem to he seemed to only want to make it about the music, and it became soulless, and I feel less connected to his music because it seems like all he's doing is making music and not backing it up by being a person. The two go hand in hand, and one cannot exist without the other. But he's trying to disconnect the two for people outside of his inner circle, and that's really disheartening for another artist to see. Like, I know that when you're, like, kind of big, you don't want to be giving out, like, too much personal information to your fans, but it's like, or like, being too, you know, like, buddy-buddy with your fans or something, but, like, just having an interview where you're acting silly, like, that's not going to hurt anyone. It's probably just going to help you, and your fans are going to be like, oh, he's so cute when he does this, oh my god, oh. They're going to be like that, like, not, they're going to be like, I'm just so incredibly just, my mind is blown by that. Anyway, I'm disappointed in you, Chris, as an artist for not having this understanding, especially since you've been in this business for so long. I'm disappointed in you as a person for knowing the gist of what Bryan would be asking and knowing that he would be traveling for hours to see you and get an interview, and knowing that he was a fan and that the interview was for you guys, fans, not for this guy, Bryan, is a slap in the face and makes me feel sick to my stomach. Because he said that at the end of the interview to Bryan, who is a huge fan of Never Shout Never, in front of Bryan's other friend, Nate, who is apparently like an idolized Christofer Drew, and I don't know what he thinks of all this. I mean, if it were me and my favorite band, like, came up to me and did that, or came up to one of my friends and did that, I would just be like, I would be so conflicted right now. So I don't expect Bryan's friend Nate to be choosing between Bryan and the music that he loves. I don't think that he idolizes Christofer Drew anymore, because I wouldn't idolize the people who I do if they did that, but I'd still love their music. So I don't know. So Nate, here's a hug. I just okay. So I made myself, I promised myself this last night that if I ever become really big with my music and everything, that I would never do this, ever. Like, I just made myself promise. I promised myself that. Like, I was crying at that moment. I was just like, oh my god. I will never do that to anyone. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do what Christofer Drew did to Bryan, ever, to anyone. Okay? That's, I don't know, just seeing an artist who used to be, like, so fun-loving and positive and carefree turn into that, like, I don't understand it. Okay. Well, I'll post a link to the entire paragraph that I wrote, or not paragraph, like 5 paragraphs that I wrote, and you can read it for yourselves. And yeah, I love you, Bryan. I love you so much. Look at my heart for you. Ah, I see you, Bryan. Cheer up, okay? I love you. Yeah, and you guys tell me your opinions on the entire situation in the comments or something. Okay. I love you guys. Peace. Bye-bye.